これより全体会合1、地球のトリプルクライシスの中で、アジア太平洋の持続可能性と安全保障を高めるシナジーを生かした対応を開始いたします。はじめに、登壇者をご紹介いたします。都市自治体連合アジア太平洋地域支部 UCLG アスペック事務局長、ベルナディア・イラワティ・チャンドラデアウ様。国際協力機構サステナビリティ推進担当特命審議役兼企画部サステナビリティ推進室長稲田恭介様。損害保険ジャパン株式会社執行役員チーフサステナビリティオフィサー小坂佳代子様。最後に IGES 理事長竹内和彦でございます。ここからの進行は IGES 竹内が務めます。それでは竹内理事長、よろしくお願いいたします。
それではセッションの1番目として、シナジーについて、ご出席の3人の方と一緒に話を進めてまいりたいと思います。これ英語ですか？どっちでもいいんですか？ So let me start our discussion. First, I would like to introduce my ideas on how we could maximize the synergy and minimize the trade-offs. So we have a lot of challenges, particularly in Asia Pacific. Of course, climate change has been accelerating, and the biodiversity loss has been advancing, and air pollution and other pollution, including the plastic pollution, is critical issues in particularly Asia and Pacific. So how we could overcome these issues is a very important point that we could discuss. And we try to take an integrated approach to tackle on the triple planetary crisis in Asia and Pacific. There are many discussions, of course, SDGs, and we are almost the end of the stage of the SDGs achievement, but we are not successful in achieving the SDGs. And we agree to reduce drastically the CO2 emissions, and we try to protect the nature and try to recover the nature. And also recently we are discussing about the pollution. So these issues are very important global challenges. So it is more appropriate to take an integrated approach to take a synergy among these global challenges. Toward the 2050, we will start to consider about the post-2030 agenda. And by the year 2050, we are aiming to achieve the greenhouse gas zero emissions. And also, we are trying to create our society in harmony with nature and the establishment of the circular economy. So take a synergistic approach is very important because, as I already mentioned, in order to avoid the duplication and in order to maximize the synergy, this is very important for us to further pursue. If you look at the Asia is one of the sources of problems. If you look at on the right side, you could see the global plastic pollution issues. Southeast Asia and East Asia are the core of the problem. And also, there are many issues that we are discussing in this area, and therefore, focuses on the issues in Asia and Pacific is quite appropriate. And then we are trying to create an Asia-Pacific synergy report addressing the SDGs and the triple planetary crisis. We first launched our discussion at the APFSD in Bangkok, and then very recently in this year, we could have a very good fruitful discussion in Manila, and hopefully next APFSD, we could further finalize our discussions, and we are willing to try to launch our report during the APFSD meeting. We are hoping that Yokohama will invite this very important meeting. This is a structure of the report, starting from introduction and framing, climate health, biodiversity and nature positive, pollution and circular economy, cities and resilience, finance, data and tools, governance, and policy recommendations. These are the basic structure of our report that we are aiming to publish. This is a snapshot of the Manila conference. Bernardia is here with us, and we could have a very good discussion to move forward. These are the several examples of the synergy report published by IGES, and we are very eager to expand our collaboration with other organizations, including those who are attending today's plenary session. So thank you very much for listening. Now I would like to introduce three speakers. First speaker is Bernardia Irawati Chandradevi, who is head of the UCLG ASPAC. And we have Mr. Kyosuke Inada from JICA. And we have Sayoko Kosaka from Sompo Japan. All these three are panelists of this plenary sessions. So I would like to ask Bernardia to deliver your talk.
皆さんおはようございます。It's always nice to come back to Japan. It's like Yokohama is like my second home city, and it's nice to see familiar faces here. Indeed, I think the discussion is quite important because it's talking about triple planetary crisis. This is about biodiversity losses, climate change, and also this about the third one is about pollution. I think we feel the climate change is happening. And for us, thanks to Professor Takeuchi and also government of Japan and also all the IGES for inviting me here. And indeed, we are also very happy to be part of this report on the Asia-Pacific synergies on triple planetary crisis for two reasons why I'm involved in this report. The first one is that we would like to highlight the importance of cities and local governments. I think cities, we consume almost 80% of energy, but we also emit more than 60% of global emissions. The second reason, because this is also what we discussed in Manila, we just do not want to kind of produce a report, but make this report be implemented And this is why the reason we are here, because we cover a big networks of cities and local governments. It's not just cities or municipalities, but also provinces. And we have a connection of 240,000 cities in 164 countries in the world. And we follow subsidiary principles in which each region is unique. So it's not top-down approach, but it's a bottom-up approach, meaning how regional perspective bring to global synergies. So here the collaboration among local governments started actually 100 years ago when there was an organization called EULA, International Union of Local Authorities, set up in 1913, more than 100 years ago. And then 3 organizations merged in 2004 and created one single organization called United Cities and Local Governments. So here, let me highlight, before I highlight this triple planetary, what could be the role of local governments. We have been doing program activities. We also partner with several organizations like JICA, as well as with IGES. We also conduct advocacy works as the organization affiliated with the United Nations. I know that several of you are business companies. We also have a pitching session in which we connect local governments' investment plans with also business interests. So this also through a pitching session that we have. We also have a decentralized cooperation, facilitating collaboration among local governments and localizing the SDGs, including the VLR development. I think we work with IGES on the VLR development in Hamamatsu and several other cities. So here, the reason why these issues are complex, because it's related, they have interrelated challenges faced by local governments across Asia Pacific in addressing this triple planetary crisis. One is include structural and institutional kind of, I cannot see clearly here, so better I stand so that I can see here, but I'll be very quick. I have only 3 minutes. Structural and institutional constraint, governance and capacity gap, and climate and environmental vulnerabilities and citizen participation and trust deficit. And trust deficit has been increasing over the few years, especially after COVID and during COVID. And this also has been seen that trust from citizens to government has been increased. Lack of trust has been increasing. So this, there are several examples. I think have been a lot of good cases how local governments particularly addressing this climate triple crisis. But I think the speed of destroying the environment is much faster than the case studies or good case studies or good policies that have been introduced. I think that's the issue here. So here we have done assessment of 24 countries on enabling environment, looking at the capacity of local governments, looking at the financial capacity of local government, looking at the regulatory framework, and it's very clear when there is a conducive environment, conducive enabling environment, in these countries, local governments perform very well. And Japan has been rated quite high compared to other countries in Asia. So here, integrated governance systems, when like legal framework explicitly recognize the role of local governments in climate planning, tend to produce stronger climate action. One of examples, we have introduced climate action plans. We developed climate action plan in several cities, and these climate action plans are not mandatory, but have been introduced. So here, for the localization, I think it's very important to connect also with SDGs localization. I'll be closing very soon. We actually develop a VLR for several reasons, and this also connect to climate action as well. And Let me go also, I think Ibu Armida mentioned the lack of integrated planning. Indeed, this is what we have seen because we have been working always in silo, not only in the central government level, but also in local governments level. So this have been minimized in some extents by some good examples, by creating task force, for example, institutional frameworks that support those cross-sectoral sectors or cross-sectoral issues. Yeah? And last, we have been doing peer learning and horizontal cooperation among local governments. I think a lot of case studies have been introduced, and I think, Professor, you remember IGES also been involved in Asia Pacific Mayors Academy, but we have not introduced triple planetary crisis in Asia Pacific Mayors Academy. I think we can do this. So last, digital platform. I think I'm not going to elaborate this because of the time, but just last slide. This is, I want to pay attention because we have a barrier of fiscal constraints. So local governments lack direct access for climate finance. So approaches to overcome this is develop municipal climate finance frameworks, steps into GGF, expand, I think JICA can explain more about this, and institutional fragmentation. We need to create a joint planning mechanism, national level local dialogue platform, and capacity gaps. We also have training institutions. And last, low public participation and incoherent in policy and legal frameworks. So harmonize climate environmental laws to include local governments as implementers and co-creations. So that's, I'll thank you everyone for your attention. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you very much, Bernardia, for clarifying the importance of the local government in taking the synergetic approach. Now I'd like to invite Mr. Kyosuke Inada from JICA. Floor is yours.
聞こえますか？はい。Good morning, everyone. My name is Kyosuke Inada, Director General for Sustainability Management at JICA. First of all, thank you to IGES for inviting us to ISAP 2025. Every year, we are excited to learn the latest from the policymakers, researchers, and practitioners from Asia Pacific. Today, I'd like to share with you how international development agencies like JICA are tackling the triple planetary crisis of climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution, while addressing the multifaceted and complex development challenges in Asia Pacific. Next slide, please. So I would like to start by briefly introducing our organization. We are one of the world's largest bilateral aid agency that plays a core role in Japan's ODA. You can see our profile on the screen, and we have four main arms of operation in the bottom half of this slide. Technical cooperation is hands-on cooperation and policy advisory services to improve institutional frameworks and human resource development. Typically, we send experts from Japan to developing countries to provide those services or invite government officials and technical staff from developing countries to receive training in Japan. Another scheme is grant aid, which is financial assistance with no repayment obligations to support providing goods and services such as schools, hospitals, and other social infrastructure vital for the country. ODA loans is sovereign-based lending with concessional conditions. They are typically used for various economic and social infrastructures such as transportation, energy, and water. Finally, our private sector investment finance, PSIF, is our non-sovereign financial instrument that enables us to directly support the private sector in developing countries. Next slide, please. Recently, we have been expanding the private sector investment finance, PSIF. In April this year, the Japanese Parliament passed the amended JICA Act to enable JICA to provide new products to mobilize private capital, in addition to the existing lending and equity investment tools. To be more specific, we have added bond, subscription, and guarantee. Bond subscription allows JICA to subscribe to mainly green, social, sustainability, and sustainability-linked bonds. We hope to be a trailblazer for issuers with limited track record. Portfolio guarantee will allow JICA to provide risk mitigation for local financial institutions in developing countries when they are expanding their operation to clients with high development impact, such as small and medium enterprises, SMEs, and women-owned enterprises. In addition, we are now allowed to provide both sustainability-linked loan and bond, and general purpose is allowed as use of proceeds. Next slide, please. JICA combines the existing and new instruments to address multifaceted and complex development challenges in developing countries. I will not go through all of them today, but you can see an example of the diverse goals of our development activities on the screen, which ranges from food production to disaster risk reduction. Next slide, please. In order to ensure that the triple planetary crises are considered during our intervention in diverse sectors and topics of development, JICA announced its sustainability policy in October 2023. This policy stresses that JICA aims to realize a sustainable world in which three dimensions, economy, society, and environment, are in harmony. The focus areas in JICA sustainability policy, which are related to synergistic responses to triple planetary crisis, are described on the screen. The next slide describes how this policy is applied to JICA's development projects. Next slide, please. At JICA, the Office for Sustainability Management screens all new projects. The objective of such screening is to ensure that these projects are aligned with the objectives of the Paris Agreement and to promote climate mitigation and adaptation projects. As you can see on the top of this slide, whenever we support a development project, such as building wind power plants, rehabilitating river dikes after a devastating cyclone, and supporting the development of energy master plan in our client countries, we go through the 5 steps shown here. At each step, the Office for Sustainability Management is consulted to determine if the project is Paris-aligned and contributes to climate mitigation or adaptation measures. By going through these steps, project activities supported by JICA are checked to make sure synergetic responses to the triple planetary crisis are considered or mainstreamed. For climate mitigation and adaptation, we publish a tool called JICA Climate Finance Impact Tool, or JICA Climate Fit, to facilitate the mainstreaming exercise. We're now preparing to do the same for mainstream biodiversity and nature aspects. Next slide, please. The remaining slides show examples of such mainstreamed and synergized development projects. The first one is our biodiversity conservation project in southern India, and you can see that this also strengthens local economic activities through enforced forest product supply chains and improves livelihoods through participation of women, the poor, and vulnerability groups in society. Next slide, please. This next slide is an example of pollution control project in Vietnam, which not only improves urban environmental hygiene through waste management, but also additional electricity to the region through waste-to-energy incinerator. Next slide, please. And this slide, I won't go through the details of this one, but this is a collection of case studies from a report jointly published by IGES and JICA colleagues last year. These examples showcase how synergetic activities were embedded in the design of JICA-funded projects and were actually implemented. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Inada, explaining about the current sustainability challenges in JICA by taking the various examples that you have been conducting. Now I would like to ask Ms. Kayoko Kosaka from Sompo Japan. The floor is yours.
はい、損害保険ジャパンの小坂と申します。本日はこのような素晴らしい会合にお招きいただきまして誠にありがとうございます。私の方からは、企業の個別事例を踏まえながら、本日の課題に対して何かヒントになるようなものを、何かお示しできればと思っております。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。はい、 私ども損保ジャパンのルーツは、1888年に創設いたしました日本初の火災保険会社である東京火災に遡ります。東京火災ですけれども、当時の東京は木造家屋が立ち並んでおりまして、深刻な火災リスクに苛まれておりました。そのような中で創設された企業ではあったんですけれども、保険の提供、ファイナンスのカバーというところはもちろんですけれども、それに加えまして、自社で消防団を結成いたしまして、当時の警視庁から正式に認可を受けた唯一の施設消防団として、お客様の家屋の消火活動、万が一の時の消火活動というところに取り組んでおりました。このエピソードが象徴します、人のためにという思い、志というものが私どもの源 DNA になります。その思いといいますのは、130年余りそこから経っていますけれども、私どもの中にそこは延々と引き継がれておりまして、今でも防災減災への取り組み、そういったことで地域課題の解決ですとか、あらゆるリスクに対する保険商品やサービスのご提供、そういったことのご提供で全国各地でそのような活動を展開させていただいております。当社が環境課題に本格的に取り組むきっかけとなりましたのが、先ほどの創業から約100年経過しました1992年に地球サミットがリオデジャネイロで開かれましたけれども、そこに私どもの社長が経団連ミッションの団長として参加いたしたことがきっかけでした。その社長が当時企業が環境問題に取り組むこと、その重要性をリオで痛感して帰国いたしまして、まだ当時あまり例のなかった地球環境室という環境専門部署を速やかに設置をいたしました。21世紀は環境の世紀だというふうに申しまして、その専門部署というのもこういう国内金融機関では初めてとなるような専念的な事例として当時本格活動を開始いたしました。その後、自社での取り組みに加えまして、経団連自然保護協議会の会長会社としても活動を継続いたしまして、2012年、その30年後のリオプラス20に参加をいたしております。また、2022年の昆明モントリオール生物多様性枠組みを採択した COP15 にも経済界を代表して参加をいたしております。このようにネイチャーポジティブの経済の実現に向けてリーダーシップを発揮しております。次に、具体的に当社保険会社として取り組んでおります事例としまして、地球環境課題に対応する保険商品やリスクマネジメントのサービスについて、特に直近でご提供しているものから2点ご紹介をさせていただきたいと思います。まず1点目ですけれども、気候リスクに関するものです。気候変動の影響で気候リスクというのがますます高まっている中ですが、その気候リスクに対する保障というのを私どもの中の専門チームがオーダーメイドで保険を蘇生する仕組みを行っております。これは適用ファイナンスの一環として開始をいたしました。例えばですけれども、再エネ電力会社が電力供給不足に陥った場合に、その際の調達コストをカバーしたり、あるいは猛暑による工事の中断による発生するコスト増、こういったもののカバーというのを想定しております。このような商品が気候変動による異常気象下でも企業の事業を安定させて、その地域のコミュニティの強化に寄与する、ウェルビーイングにもつながるシナジーというものを創出できるのではないかと思いまして、このような取り組みを展開をしております。それから2点目になりますが、メタンの漏洩検知によるリスクマネジメントに関するものです。 この件は、昨年から、国内外の企業と連携させていただいて、実証実験に着手をしております。気候変動の緩和の取り組みになりますけれども、企業の施設から漏洩したメタンガスを衛星画像から解析する技術の実証実験、こういった内容になります。爆発リスクの低減、こういったもののカバーをしますし、またお客様としましては、GHG の排出削減ですとか、規制対応にご活用いただけるものと思っております。また、汚染などの地球環境負荷への予防にもなり、こういったシナジーが期待できるものでございます。この資料の向かって右の写真ですが、これは COP29 で官民連携事例としてこの取り組みについて発表させていただいた時のものです。はい、一旦私から以上です。
どうもありがとうございました。Thank you very much. Now I'd like to move to the panel discussion. I have two questions. One is, how can synergetic approaches contribute to regional stability and security, while also advancing the achievement of multiple SDGs? I would like to ask Kosaka-san from Sompo to talk on these issues.
はい、では、今ご質問いただいた1点目ですね。1点目について、資料を用いてご説明をさせていただきたいと思います。はい、私ども、これも具体的取り組み事例を用いながら、私どもの取り組みとして、ヒントになればと思い、ご紹介をさせていただきます。まず、気候変動による自然災害の頻発化、激甚化が進む中、保険によるファイナンス機能を発揮することに加えて、防災・減災による地域コミュニティの強化というものに私どもで取り組んでおります。まず、1点目ですけれども、OECM100 カ所プロジェクトというプロジェクトを展開をしております。これはですね、保護区以外の良質な生態系である OECM を普及することで、生態系を活用した防災・減災、すなわちエコ DRR の促進につなげる目的で、展開をしております。これはですね、当社が森を保有して保全するということではなく、各自治体が保有する森林の OECM 化ですとか、地域の NPO が中心となった市民活動による OECM 化、こういったものをサポートさせていただいております。一例としまして、自治体との取り組みにおいては、神戸市様が保有する OECM に、私どものお取引先様企業様などにお声掛けをして、参画をいただきまして、皆で自然資本の活用方法について考える、このような取り組みを直近で実施をしております。はい、2点目になります。これはセーブジャパンプロジェクトという生物多様性保全活動になります。私どもの保険のお客様がご加入いただきますと、通常ですと紙で保険商品ですとか、保険証券ですとか、保険の約款というものをお渡しするのですけれども、お客様がご希望いただいた場合、ご了承いただいた場合は、通常紙で発行するものをウェブでご提供するというような仕組みがございます。その場合にそこで削減できたコストというものを活用させていただきまして、この生物多様性保全活動というものを日本 NPO センター、地域の NPO 支援センター、それから環境 NPO と、こういったところと共同で全国で行っているものです。これは約15年継続して活動を行っております。この活動ですけれども、数年前からプロジェクトの対象としまして、エコ DRR に資するプロジェクトですとか、自然共生サイトの申請プロセスを支援させていただいております。これまで3つのプロジェクトが自然共生サイトに認定をされております。 こういった活動において、気候変動への適応と生物多様性のシナジー、これに加えまして、森林や土壌が整うことによって、良質な CO2 の吸収源になるという意味合いで、緩和にもつながっているというふうに理解しております。また、私どもにとっては非常に大事なところなんですけれども、社内外の環境教育にもつながっている点が、私どもにとって非常に大きい点だというふうに思っております。はい、以上になります。
はい、どうもありがとうございました。それでは続いて、JICA の稲田さんに、ご報告をお願いしたいと思います。
Hi. So I will speak in English. So from our perspective, regional stability and security are strongly related with equitable society and economic prosperity. Just to give you an example, JICA has been supporting nature conservation projects in India for over 30 years now. I once asked an official from the Indian government why they keep coming back to JICA for continued cooperation in different states. And they said that in some cases, forest departments and state governments had difficulties in gaining trust from rural communities, and that these communities may engage with illegal logging groups to sell their forest resources in exchange for financial returns. So according to the Indian government officials, by engaging with a trusted third-party foreign partner like JICA, who demands a disciplined project and financial management, yet promotes activities that contribute to both nature conservation and local economic development, it is easier to improve relationship between the communities and the state government, which contributes to stability and security in the region. In terms of international security, economic prosperity also requires ensuring food security and maritime security, among other things. For example, promoting climate-resilient agricultural production, you can help secure food supplies, while peaceful utilization of marine resources through the monitoring and regulating of marine plastic pollution and IUU, which stands for illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, along with protecting of the marine ecosystems through surveillance, can also contribute to addressing the 3 planetary crises. And they can also enhance stability and security in the Asia-Pacific region. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to ask Bernadia to explain about your thoughts.
Thank you very much, Professor Takeuchi. Indeed, our region is quite unique and diverse when we talk about Asia-Pacific region. And in terms of stability, I think it's very important that we're looking at the importance of inequality. I think this has been increasing quite widely. And for local governments, in terms of advocacy, because if one city or one local government speaks up, no one will listen. So in the global structure, we have well-organized networks of local governments. We call it Global Task Force that facilitate and also advocate the importance of local governments and cities at the global level among United Nations meetings. And in Asia Pacific, we are also we have what we call it Asia Pacific Local Governments Coordinating Body that include this is coordinated by UCH ASPAC, but it also include another networks like CityNet, ICLE, C40. So we are very well structured in terms of our lobbying and advocacy. And one of the examples, like VLR that has been produced by local governments that have been presented also as LPF, and also for the Asia Pacific region as well. So when we talk about regional stability, this is also what we are planning to put in the report that we are writing, Professor Takeuchi. We explain how we could seek synergies and integrated solutions, because human problems we create human problem. We have a human problem that only human can find a solutions. So this is why in key elements of this synergetic solution, we include the importance of policy integration and coherence, developing and implementing policies that simultaneously target those triple planet crisis and multiple SDGs. This is very, very important. I think the structure has not been followed in the sense that all even in national levels working on silos. SDG is done by different ministry, climate is done by another ministry, another also several other, even for Paris Agreement, that is part of this Ministry of Finance. So this structure are not supporting at this moment. What are we going to target on this? The second is multi-stakeholders partnerships. I think we have to engage a broad spectrum of actors, including governments, the private sector, civil society organization, and research bodies and local communities. Like I mentioned earlier, the CAP, climate action plans that have been developed by local governments. We have a task force for developing these climate action plans that have been integrated in a local development plan for implementation. And the task force comprised of those different actors. Another important aspect is pollutions and climate are cross borders. We cannot address only based on administrative borders. So that's why it's important to have integrated planning mechanism, also looking at the ecosystem base, also looking at territorial development approach. This is not mandatory in several countries. So last, for financial innovation, I think in Japan, you have been supporting a lot by having like municipal bonds or green bonds, also public investment, public and private investments. But in several countries outside Japan, this innovation of finance have not been emerging so kind of significantly. Like I just give you examples. In Indonesia, this is where our Secretariat of UCAJ ASPAC is based in the City Hall of Jakarta. There is no one single municipal bonds has been released in the country, even though regulation allows local governments to create bonds. I think this is something maybe we need to work with JICA on this. In terms of credit worthiness, A+, they have those capacity, but they have not released any single bonds. I think some local governments maybe need to have more innovation on that. And also in terms of mobilizing significant financial resources, I would like to use this occasion also to encourage business companies, because I know that a lot of business companies are here. Please invest more in green transitions. And we are ready to work with you, especially since we have a big networks of local governments, but you have also to support in terms of helping local governments in making investment plans, because not so many local governments are ready with investment plans. Maybe some of you call it bankable projects or bankable programs, but I think we cannot depend only funding from central governments in implementing what we call it green transitions. And last, in terms of training, capacity building, I think we also have I did mention about Asia Pacific Mayors Academy. This is to give a training to new mayors who just elected. This Asia Pacific Mayors Academy was initiated by UNESCAP, UN Habitat, and supported also by UCAJ ASPAC and IGES as well. I think we need to include this triple planetary crisis in this Asia Pacific Mayors Academy. And I think this is very important also. I don't know if this is feasible. I don't know, maybe any of you already know that in some countries, you can have a climate tagging budgeting. I think maybe you know already there is a climate tagging in the budget, but there is no tagging on budget for triple planetary crisis. If you have that, that means systematically, institutionally, we are supported by those mechanisms. And if this is possible, I think we can address all of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I would like to ask you the second question. What mechanism or conditions are needed to strengthen collaboration among diverse actors, for example, governments, cities, businesses, development agencies. But because of the shortage of the time, in your presentation, I hope that you could include the final words from your side. So I would like to ask Kosaka-san from Sompo.
はい、私どもですけれども、地域のさまざまなステークホルダーをつなげる機能ですとか、仕組み作りというものが非常に重要だというふうに考えております。今の竹内先生のお話ですと、産科学の連携というところが非常に重要になるかと思います。当社の取り組みから2点ご紹介をさせていただきます。1点目が各自治体を起点にした防災や SDGs、これに関する連携協定の締結です。私ども全国で約300を超える自治体様と連携をさせていただいております。保険会社の持つノウハウを生かして地方創生に貢献したいという思いで、このような取り組みを積極的に活動を取り組んでおります。それから2点目ですけれども、地域大学を起点としたコンソーシアム、こういった形が直近いくつか例示として出てきております。アカデミアの研究と経済活動を結びつけることによって社会実装を加速させることができるというふうに考えております。直近でもある地域の大学と市と連携させていただいて、そちらの学生さんにそこの地域の実情について学んでいただいた後に、その課題解決に向けて自ら考えて、そのアイデアを提案発表いただくというようなプログラムを実施をいたしました。今お話しした2つの取り組みというのは、私どもの本業を通じた貢献として非常に効果があるというふうに思ってまして、持続可能な社会の実現に貢献できる人材育成にもつながるというふうに考えております。
どうもありがとうございました。Thank you very much. Now I'd like to ask Inada-san from JICA to explain about your contribution to collaborate with the diverse actors.
Yes, from the perspective of JICA, we feel that two things are very important in bringing together diverse stakeholders. One is capacity building, and the second is public-private platform. Thanks to the development of digital technologies, many parts of the world have easier access to best practices and bright ideas to formulate policies that address various agendas, including the triple crises. Unfortunately, very often in low and middle-income countries, implementation and enforcement are the bottlenecks to bring changes in the society and economy. So capacity building of both institutions and human resources, legal and legislative framework for implementation and enforcement, along with platforms to bring together knowledge and financial resources from both the public and the private sector are particularly essential in countries where resources are limited. So I believe that this forum, ISAP, has functioned as an effective platform to strengthen collaboration among diverse actors to advance sustainable development in the Asia-Pacific region. And JICA has a network of around 100 offices globally, and we hope to learn from the success of ISAP and create small communities of platform in countries of operation to advance sustainable development in partner countries, while simultaneously addressing the urgency and needs to cope with the triple crisis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to ask Bernadia.
Thank you, Professor Takeuchi. There is no single actor can solve this problem. And I think this forum is also quite unique because we can see complementarity in the works. Like we have a private company, we have a development agency, we have a network of local government or association of cities and local governments. We also have research institutions. I think we really need to work much closer together, especially since, this is my opinion, I think the deterioration of environment has been in high speed. compared to the good works that everyone has been doing. So how can we accelerate those changes? That's very important. And every actor has an important role to play. I also want to use this occasion to congratulate Japanese governments for coming up with resolutions, especially on this triple planetary crisis that will be released next year. And we have UN bodies that comprise of member states. We have United Cities and local government that comprise cities and local governments that include also, as I said, several other networks. We also have companies that are ready, like you guys. You all are ready to have investment in sustainable infrastructure and green transition, and also promote circular economy. And we also have research institutions. So in the paper that we are writing later, we will specifically say what each actor can play. And don't forget about civil society as well. Because when you talk about SDGs, 65% of SDGs targets are at the local level. If you don't include local governments, civil society, those 65%, and we already know the figure in Asia Pacific, we need another 32 years to reach SDG. So we cannot reach SDG by 2030. That's what data said. So let me conclude here by let's work together so that we can leave this planet, a better planet, to our next generations. Your grandchildren will be happy, so they will not reach 50 Celsius degree when you know the next generation will live. We cannot stand in this heat anymore. I was in Seville for 47 degrees in Spain. This is really, really something that, and we can do simple things. Just plant a lot of trees. This is something also Bangkok has been doing very well. I think when you go to Bangkok, you see a lot of greens. Jakarta also plan to have 1 million trees. This is just simple things. Yeah? You don't need to have a big plan, but you cannot do it. What you need is just do whatever we can do now. Don't wait until the next election. I'm talking this for the mayors, if any, but don't wait for the next election. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. We still have some minutes, and so I would like to invite 1 or 2 questions from the participants, if you have. No? Come on.
Sensei, I should ask them
Yeah.
why they are here. Maybe someone can answer that. What's your expectation from this ISA? In case no question.
Okay, so somebody want to say some more? Okay, now is the time. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, panelists. I think one of the things that we're trying to do with today's ISAP is to also encourage young people to get involved in the sustainability movement and to work on synergies. I'm wondering if anybody can talk a little bit about the role of young people, youth, in promoting synergies.
Yeah. Yeah, one more question. I would like to invite another question from the participants.
Hi, good morning. My name is Mika. I'm from Singapore, but I now live in Japan. I had a very similar question actually to the gentleman before about the importance of youth participation, but taking a more critical lens, sort of, are there concrete examples you know of where young people are actually meaningfully engaged in the work that you do?
Yes, thank you very much for these 2 questions, role of the younger generations. I think Sompo Japan is quite eager to invite the younger generation. I have been also involved in the Sompo Japan's activities.
はい。 先ほど私の方で人材教育、環境教育というものが非常に重要視しているということを申し上げました。その中の一つの事例として、若い方々を対象にしたものということをご紹介させていただきます。当社は30年余り前から環境教育というものを非常に重視して取り組んでおりまして、その中で一つ、環境人材の育成で CSO ラーニングという活動を行っております。木を植える人を育てるということをモットーに活動しておりまして、大学生と大学院生を約7ヶ月間、環境 NGO に派遣をするというインターンシップ制度です。これを25年余り続けておりまして、今1400名程度の学生さんを派遣をして、環境人材というものを輩出をしてまいりました。特にですね、あと2019年からはインドネシアでも展開をしておりまして、120名を超える学生さんがこれに参加をしてくださっています。こういった活動を通しまして、私ども保険会社ですので、もちろんその環境リスクに対する保証ですとか、それからこれから新しいリスクも生まれるかもしれない、そういったことっていうのも、そういったカバーに対しても求められるものというものは非常に広がっていくというふうに考えておりますけれども、私どもの歴史からずっと環境人材というもの育成を非常に重要視してまいりまして、そういったことによって、この環境問題に対して向き合える人材、対処できる人材というものを育てていく、それも企業としてできる最大の取り組みではないかと思って、ずっと継続をして取り組んでおります。
はい、どうもありがとうございました。Thank you very much. We are almost closing time, but if you have any short, yeah, please.
I also like to react on the question related to youth. Congratulations, IGES, Professor Takuchi, for engaging youth here. And in our works, we have several committees that deal with the several themes. We have a Belt and Road. We have also ODA, how local government can access ODA. And for the young people, we gather young people and they discuss among themselves, and the result of discussion have been given to the local government's leaders for possible implementations. And there is a plan to create also committee on young people, youth, we call it youth committee. We also have internship programs that come from France, from China, from South Korea to Jakarta, to our office. So we really like to work more with young people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we are almost the end of our session, and I would like to thank all three speakers, panelists, for your great contribution. So I would like to close this session. Thank you very much.